Welcome everyone, my name is Micah from lessonsatrock.com, and in today's video I'd like to talk about how to hold a pick. It's one of the most common questions I get. People always ask me, how am I supposed to hold my pick? And there's actually quite a few ways that you can do it, but some ways I think are better than others. So let's go ahead and get started. So first off, personally I'm left-handed. I play guitar right-handedly, so I'm going to be using my right hand to be holding the pick. Now, what I prefer are these little Jazz 3 picks. They work really well for me, and if you're wondering why it's colored orange, it's because I put nail polish on the top of it. I drop my picks a lot, and this actually helps me to find them when I do drop them at night. So it's a neat little tip there. So the way that I hold my pick, what you're going to do is you're going to make a trigger finger. Okay, so I'm going to do it like this. You're going to make a trigger finger. You're going to take your pick and you're going to place it on top of that trigger finger like this. So it just kind of sits there. Notice that the point of my pick is not pointing with my finger, so it's not pointing that direction like this. Okay, it's pointing a little bit this way. And then I'm going to put my thumb on top. So when it's all said and done, I should have something like this. Or like this. So the way that I like to think about it is you're going to make a trigger finger, and your finger should be pointing this direction, your thumb should be pointing the opposite direction, and then your pick is going to go in between those two angles. So first finger is pointing this direction, thumb, and your pick is in between the two angles. Not here, not with your thumb, not pointing with your finger, but in between those two angles, right? So let me kind of stand up and do it. So I'm holding my pick, and you can see that my thumb is going kind of this direction. My first finger, it's kind of hard to see, but you can see it sticking out right here, is coming up, and you can see how the pick is right here in between those two angles. Hopefully you can figure that out. So once again, to kind of run you through those steps, make a trigger finger. You're going to take your pick, you place it on top of your finger, and then you put your thumb on top, and then you adjust it so that the angle of the pick, and you can see it here, the angle of the pick should not be with my thumb. It should not be with my first finger, which is down here. That's far too low, but it should be somewhere in between. So you can see my thumb is pointed up. You can see my first finger is pointed about here. My pick is right in between those two angles somewhere. And that's one method of holding your pick. If you do that, it works really well for flat picking. So if you wanted to do some crazy picking on your guitar, a little sloppy, but you kind of get the idea. So that works really well. Now, some other people tend to prefer to hold their pick with two fingers, and you can see I'm using two fingers at the back, which is going to give you a lot more stability for your picking, but I think it also tends to make it harder in the future to do more complicated techniques. Case in point, as far as I know, James Hetfield from Metallica actually holds his pick this way. James Hetfield from Metallica is the rhythm player, and he's actually been voted like best rhythm player something like 4 or 5 different years from various, Guitar Player magazine and things like that. So obviously the guy knows what he's doing. He's pretty good at it. He's a multi-millionaire from holding his pick this way. But there's one thing, very importantly, that James Hetfield does not do. James Hetfield does not solo. He doesn't do guitar solos. He's done one guitar solo as far as I know in his career, which was the solo to Nothing Else Matters. It's a great solo, and I hate to say it's actually my favorite solo of Metallica, but he doesn't do guitar solos on a regular basis, so that kind of shows that this method may not be the most efficient or effective method if you're trying to do guitar solos, because it makes it difficult to brace your hand, right? So it's hard to like put my finger here and all this, combobulation. It's really weird. So what you really want is, again, that method I told you earlier, which allows you to have that freedom to brace your hand here or here. So speaking of bracing, you generally want to brace your hand down here at the bottom, and you can put your fingers on the strings, or you can use a finger or two to kind of just put them right here on the pick guard, or you want to brace right here on the bridge or the saddle somewhere. And that just prevents you from moving around too much. So especially when you get into start moving around a little bit more, it helps you to really kind of stay stable. So that's just a very short, quick, and dirty tutorial on how to hold your guitar pick. Again, you'll kind of find out what works best for you. My name is Micah from Lessons at Rock. Please rate, favorite, comment, subscribe, and share this video. See you soon.